Alright, you started with the neck wrap.
Basic neck wrap. Opposite hand, opposite side of the neck. You want to get your hand as close to your neck, really on it, so that you're not throwing it at yourself, you're wrapping it around yourself. Then try to do a wrap, extend your arm out, and do a half steam. You don't want your hand to receive low here. This is wrong. You want your hand parallel to the ground, and you can adjust it forwards and backwards. So if I stick my hand straight out to catch it, I can do that. If I stick my hand straight forward, that can also work. Parallel to the ground. And based on where the center point is, coming around the spin, your body will naturally know what angles to place your arm on. Okay? Then the high entry point of the Steve, center point inside your pinky, directly in between your eyes, slightly above your head. You turn your hand to the outside as far as you can, release. Hold this shape and just let it fall into this position. Get comfortable with it getting right to the spot. Then when you're comfortable, when it gets down there is when you'll drop your wrist or your entire arm right as the staff is coming by. So it's here, and you get out of the way, right at the last second. And so then you combine the two into the neck wrap. Boom, boom. One Steve. A couple of transition points for the Steve. The basic wrist to wrist. Have your entry wrist inside. Place your exit wrist, your receiving wrist to the outside. And it's not going to do any sort of wraps around. It's just going to continue rolling in the same direction. Next transition point is you get to the same spot here, but you'll pinch your hands together and do a full rotation. Let it wrap around each hand, coming back down. Understanding the prayer. Center point slightly in front of your shoulder. I say maybe on your shoulder, depending. Prayer hands outside of the staff. Encourage it forward. Extend your right arm. Prayer. Receive. And then this will allow you to practice both directions. The staff is very bouncy. It's been through a lot. Bent staffs are very different. Full Steve, or the front side Steve. Different people call it different things. This one, instead of outside wrist, it's going to be outside wrist to the back of your hand. Open your arm up so that it's straight out from your shoulder. And it's going to go outside of your arm, inside of your arm. Okay? And like the real clean version, it's going to rotate around the front of your neck. So the full, like symmetrical, reciprocal version, the outside of your wrist, inside of your wrist, inside of your wrist, outside of your wrist. Right?
Whoa.
And as you're getting more comfortable, here, if you drop your arm early, you can transition like on your forearms or your elbows, and then build your way up to getting it clean across the neck. We did a basic neck wrap cartwheel, just from the neck wrap like we were doing. Non-native hand has the staff, native hand goes down. You know, the cartwheel doesn't need to be the most clean the first time. Just be conscious that it's not clean and try to straighten it out over time. What else?
Angel roll.
Yeah,
Fishtails.
fishtails, angel rolls. We did horizontal and vertical stalls. Right, so like 1/3 grip, both forearms. You release one wrist and just try to draw a semicircle or a half circle in a plane that's really clean, parallel to your body. Here. It's always better to have too much momentum. You can lock it in your armpit as opposed to not enough and it just falls. And then, you know, you can have different variations. You can just go right hand, left hand. And you can pivot off my left foot, pivot off my right foot. And then we were just getting used to the idea of vertical tensions. Then we went over the basics of the fishtail. You know, one foot kind of open, one foot kind of here. It allows you to pivot your hips like a boxer throwing a punch. Start with it behind you and just get your little back wrist grip, back hand wrap. Comfortable with that, not too difficult. Then you want to really focus when doing the fishtail, getting the center point right in that spot in between your thumb bone and your index finger bone. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a location now, but you'll develop a touch for it and it'll be pretty crucial for you. So to get one beat with the fishtail from back to front, you really want to exaggerate the motion when you're first starting. Like really back and down. Kind of really encourage it to come forward. And then eventually, you won't have to give it as much encouragement. Hey, Sexy. We're going to recap. Yeah, so then the front beat, center point outside your pinky. You don't want your hand in the middle of your body, it's kind of more outside. And you rotate it in reverse again. And just try to get it that one beat and then catch it. And the idea of the fishtail is one wick stays in front of you, one wick stays behind you the whole time. Draw a straight line out from your hip. That's going to be the center axis point. Okay? So I'm doing an infinity sign with my hand, and the center of the infinity sign is right along this line drawn straight out from my head. And then incorporating the stalls that we learned with the fishtail. Vertical stall, pirouette, have fun with that. And then we went over halos and angel rolls. So halo, again, footwork, one foot forward, one foot this direction. You're going to be facing the direction that the staff is coming from. Release the center point just on the inside of your shoulder blade. And you don't want to throw it at it, you want to place it. Right? And as you release it, you're going to pivot and come out facing the same direction that it's pointing against. Right? Simple. And then angel roll is what we finish with. So I think it's important to keep your thumb on the same side as your fingers. I think it's probably easier if you start with your hand a little bit behind your shoulder and start here. Rotate your hand so that your palm is towards you, and you're going to turn your hand in a little bit to kind of give it that roll to start. High to low will really help you to get this motion, and then you can refine it, the angle over time. This is what you're going for. Great.
Nice.
I think that was about it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. That was my
Thanks,
first
Paul.
one.